Now we're gonna look at how to do Chromakey green screen. Okay, so first we open up Premiere, then we're gonna go to New Project. Okay, now we've already downloaded the files, so we're gonna browse to the folder where we downloaded the files to. I've put mine out on the desktop here, so how to Chromakey files, I just called it. So that's where we're gonna send the project to. Gonna make sure that our scratch discs are all same as project as usual, and we'll give it a name here. I'm gonna call mine how to, well actually you should just call yours green screen Chromakey. Okay, and then we're gonna say okay, and Premiere will open up. Just gonna rearrange the timeline just a little bit here. We're gonna import the media. Just double click here, right click and say import media here, or you can go to file import. Okay, so then I'm going to go out on the desktop where my files are, how to Chromakey files, and we're just going to bring all of these in here. So not the project file, we're just going to click and then hold down the command key or the control key on Windows and select the stand-up movie, the executive view virtual set, and the folder that has all the photos inside, and just import. And then of course we need to create a sequence, so we're going to create it with the young lady that's on the green screen. This is Christina stand up, so we're just going to drop this down here. And that creates the project. And so it's not Christina stand up, we're going to call this green screen Chromakey. Okay, now first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just trim her up a little bit here. So we're going to cut out the director giving her a countdown, and we're going to just trim it where she takes a breath to start talking.
In 5, 4, 3.
Okay, so right here where she takes a breath is where we just back it up a little bit. I'm just using the left arrow key. Right there, she's kind of relaxed here. And then to trim from the playhead back to this point, you can just use the Q key on the keyboard, and that trims it back to there. And I've already looked at this. There's really not anything we want to trim off. Even there's some blank space, which you can see down here at the end. I'm just going to make this track a little taller. You can see there's a little blank space, but that's just giving it a little breath so it doesn't cut off on her last word there. So we're just going to leave it here. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set markers inside the clip at the places we're going to change the photos. So we're going to click right here and let her talk, and then we're just going to decide where we're going to put the markers.
Students are told that college is supposed to be the best 4 years of their lives, and that this is the time to explore different career paths.
Okay, so right there is the first marker. So with the clip selected and I hit M, it puts the marker inside the clip. If the clip's not selected and I hit M, it puts it up here on the timeline. But for now, it doesn't matter which one of these you do, but I like in here for this particular, because no matter where we move this, that marker is going to be in the right spot. So now she talks about the different pathways. So here we go.
At the same time, they're reminded by bulletin boards and posters that they should have their degrees in 4 years.
So let's do that.
Just think about that. Deciding your future in only 4 years.
Okay, right there, let's put a marker here. Right after she says 4 years.
So many of us are struggling picking a major and sticking to it. You might be wondering what are some solutions to help ease the process.
Okay, and then right after the word process, we're going to put a marker there.
I'm your host, Christina Feliciano, and this is College Roadblocks. Let's go over some basics.
Right there. That's a very short one.
Number 1, reach out to your academic advisor. Their job is to help you navigate through each semester.
Okay, so here it says here's some basics.
Number 1, reach out to
Let's put it after number 1.
Number 1.
Okay, so let's undo that marker, Command Z, and then we're going to put it right after she says number 1.
Basics. Number 1.
Right there, right after she says number 1.
Reach out to your academic advisor. Their job is to help you navigate through each semester and help you find classes that align with your interests. Trust them.
Right there after trust them.
Number 2, network. Join clubs, go to career fairs, talk to classmates. Networking can be done in so many forms, but they all can lead to the same results.
Okay, right after the same results.
You never know if that friend you met in class can give you a contact to your next employer.
And then right after your next employer.
And number 3, apply for internships. Internships will give you the invaluable experience that you need to enter the workforce after graduation. And hey, if you don't like the internship you started, it's okay. It's all a trial and error process, so just continue and find another one.
Right there, mark out, and this is the last picture.
I hope you found these tips helpful. So what are you waiting for? Go get started and make the best of your college experience.
Okay, now, in order to do this, what the object of the green screen is we're going to get rid of the screen behind her and replace it with a virtual set. So if we look at the virtual set picture, we want this to show up behind her. So we've got to apply a crop to this, which cuts off the parts that are not covered by the green screen, and then we're going to apply an effect that gets rid of the green. Okay, so but we want this to be behind her, so like Photoshop, anything that's on top is in front. So if we click and try to drag this up to another track, everything is going to move up. So let's move her video up to the video 3 track. Okay, and then we have a one track here where the virtual set is going to be, and then another track here where the photos are going to be. So now that we've put her marker there, let's go ahead and put the virtual set on the video 2 track. So let's go ahead and grab this virtual set and let's drag it down to the video 2 track. Okay, now we don't see it yet, and we're not going to see it until we apply the effect to her layer here. But what we're going to do is just turn off the visibility of her V3 layer right here. I'm going to turn on this little thing so we can use it later. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a mask in this right here. To be able to see this a little bit better, we're just going to go to the fit and change it to 50%. And then we're just going to use these little sliders to just move it over so it just kind of fills up the screen here. And we're going to do an effect, and we're going to select this to tell it we're doing the effect of this layer, and go to our effects controls, and we're going to flip down the keyframes for opacity. Now opacity gives us a pen tool which lets us draw what's called a mask, which is to tell where we're going to apply the opacity effect to. So we're going to click here, and then very carefully we're going to click right at the corners, and don't try to be into the frame, or don't leave black space out here into the black. You want to try to be very precise and click right here on the corner, and then come down, and this way you can kind of work from outside to in, and click again right in the corner, and then come over here and do the same thing, work from outside in, click, and then the same outside in, click, and then here at the end you just join this back to the first point. And when you do that, it closes the loop and creates a mask. So the mask is designed to get rid of everything that's outside of the mask that you created. But that's not what we want. We want this to be the whole, and we want everything outside of it to be visible. So we're going to come back over here to the mask and click on inverted. So now there's a hole there and everything else is solid. Let's change this back to fit. So what we've got here is a background now with a hole cut in it. Now this particular background is what's called a seamless loop. That means there is some movement, as you can see back here. I'm just going to mute her for a second. And so there's some flickering lights and stuff going on back here. But this is what's called a seamless loop, which means it gets to the end and just repeats without you seeing it jump. So sometimes you have to create a seamless loop. I can speak. But in this case we don't have to. So we're just going to copy this, just Command C to copy. And then we're just going to come back over here, and we're just going to go Command V. Oops. Let's go ahead and turn this off, so we know it's going on the V2 track. Command V, Command V, Command V, and then trim it up. Okay, so now we have this behind her all the way. Okay, but what we don't have is we have her on the top. So let's turn her layer back on and make sure the V3 track is available. And we're going to tell Premiere that we're working on this. And the first thing we need to do is to trim this off, so the parts that are not covered by the green screen are out of the picture. So we're going to go up here to our effects, and we're going to type in here crop, and we're going to drop the crop effect on here on her layer, and we'll get crop showing up here. I'm just going to twirl up the motion, well, I'll leave the motion, but twirl up the opacity, Now the crop, we're just going to bring in the left side, and we're going to leave a little space for her to gesture with her arms. So I'm going to put it like right here, right next to her elbow, in case she moves her arm that way. So leave a little space here and move the one in on the right. I'm just clicking on the numbers and dragging. And again, leave her a little space over here to work with. And just to cut down on some extra green screen, because she's not going to jump, I'm going to bring the top down, not exactly touching her head, but just cut down a little bit on it there. So now we've got her on a totally green background. And the next effect that we're going to apply is called Ultra Key. So just type Ultra in this little window here, and let's bring the Ultra Key. Now, Ultra Key is really powerful. I'm going to flip the Ultra Keys right here. The first thing we want to do is tell it what color to pick, which is green, of course. So we're going to click this little eyedropper and bring it out here. Actually, you have to click and drag, and then bring it close to her. Don't pick the green way out here away from her, and don't touch her with it, but just kind of close to her. And we click right here, the green disappears. But if you zoom in, and I'm going to zoom in a little more, let's go up to 50%. Let's actually go up to 100%. Oh, let's try 75. Okay, you can see there's this little fringe on her shoulder and a little bit on her hair there. It's not a perfect key. So we're going to apply an effect, adjustment to this effect that takes care of that little piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go under matte cleanup. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a matte choke, which just trims the edge of her key where it's the difference between her and the key. So again, we're just going to click here and just start dragging to the right to increase the choke. And you'll see it starts to go away, and it's kind of completely gone. I'm going to set this at 56. So at 56, that little fringe on the edge of her is pretty much gone. So let's go ahead and fit her back in the window. Now we just need to move her a little bit away so she's not in front of that screen. So that we don't need effect for. Every clip is built in with motion. So let's just grab this little slider here and click and drag it to the left. Let's just move her over to the side. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now this is done. So let's go ahead and just lock these tracks just for safety. So let's click and lock these tracks. We can actually lock her audio too, just so we don't mess it up by accident. Okay, and now we're going to work on the V1 track with our pictures, and we've already got our markers set up. So let's go back to our project window. Let's flip down the little triangle for the photos, and they've already been conveniently numbered 1 through 8. We're going to use this one twice. So let's go to the beginning here, and let's mark I for N. Now we're going to move to that first marker. If you want to use a keyboard shortcut, it's Shift M, and you jump to that marker and mark O for out. Okay. And the first one is the FIU picture, so let's put it in the source window. Just double click. And when you just drop it in here, it puts in and out points on it, so we don't want that. So we're just going to clear the in and out. And we'll just do a little overwrite. Okay. And then right from there, we mark in again, hit Shift M to move to the next marker, mark out, and we'll get picture number 2. And again, when you put it in there, it puts in and out points. So just right click here and say clear the in and out. And then you don't need to put any markers. Just hit the overwrite button. And then again, mark in, Shift M to move to the next marker, mark out. And this is stressed student. So again, right click and clear the in and out points and overwrite. And then mark in, Shift M, mark out. O on the keyboard, and this is college roadblocks. Again, right click here, clear in and out, and overwrite. Same process. Mark in, Shift M to move to the next marker, mark out, academic advisor. Okay, right click, clear in and out, overwrite, mark in, Shift M, mark out, networking. Right click, clear in and out, overwrite, then mark in again, Shift M, mark out. This is the friend. Right click, clear in and out, overwrite, mark in, Shift M, down. This is the internship. Right click, clear in and out, overwrite, and then we're going to reuse this last picture here. So we mark in and hit the down arrow key since there's no marker there. Move to the end, mark out, O for out, and then we're going to reuse this first one. And there's no in and out points this time, so just hit overwrite. And this is what we have. Let's save, Command S, Control S on the Windows. Okay, so now what we have to do is size these pictures inside the frame here. So let's go to the first picture. And once it's selected here, let's go to Effects Controls, and we're going to change its scale and its position. So we're going to scale it. I'm just going to put 45, and then we're going to move it over and line it up here. And then we're going to move it up. So that's looking pretty good. So we got, that's looking pretty happy. Let's see the scale just a little bit. Let's scooch it over just a little. Okay, drop it down so it's more centered. And then grow it back up just so it goes out to the edges. I want to start here at 45. Okay, so now we've done this first one, we can apply this to the rest of them by just clicking here, right-clicking, and we just click here and we go to Edit Copy. And then we select all the other ones just carefully like this. And then we right-click and we say Paste Attributes. And the only one we want checked here is the motion that we've applied, the scale. And then we say OK. And then that gets applied to all the pictures. So now they all fit. And now we can just play it back.
Students are told that college is supposed to be the best 4 years of their lives and that this is the time to explore different career paths. At the same time, they're reminded by bulletin boards and posters that they should have their degrees in 4 years. Just think about that. Deciding your future in only 4 years? So many of us are struggling picking a major and sticking to it. You might be wondering what are some solutions to help ease the process. I'm your host, Christina Feliciano, and this is College Roadblocks. Let's go over some basics. Number 1. Reach out to your academic advisor. Their job is to help you navigate through each semester and help you find classes that align with your interests. Trust them. Number 2, network. Join clubs, go to career fairs, talk to classmates. Networking can be done in so many forms, but they all can lead to the same results. You never know if that friend you met in class can give you a contact to your next employer. And number 3, apply for internships. Internships will give you the invaluable experience that you need to enter the workforce after graduation. And hey, if you don't like the internship you started, it's okay. It's all a trial and error process, so just continue and find another one. I hope you found these tips helpful. So what are you waiting for? Go get started and make the best of your college experience.
Okay, and that's it.